Today, we're diving into a story that's unfolding right now in the world's commodity exchanges. It's a story of empty vaults, massive demand, and a financial system that's feeling the pressure. This is the Great Silver Squeeze. Now, that's not a line from some heist movie. That's the reality at the COMEX, one of the most important metals exchanges on the planet. It's a really powerful way to think about it. This is basically a classic bank run, but for a metal that is critical to our modern world. So let's treat this like an investigation. We've got our scene, we've got a few clues, and we have a really big mystery to solve. Why are the vaults that are supposed to be backing the entire global silver market suddenly running dry? All right, so here's the heart of the problem. At the COMEX, the physical silver that's supposed to be sitting in its vaults is being pulled out way faster than it's being put back in. You could say this is the scene of the crime. That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Is this some group of rogue traders, a glitch in the system, or is it something else entirely? To figure that out, we have to first understand a really crucial clue. To really get what's happening, you have to understand a fundamental fact. In the financial world, there are basically two kinds of silver. And believe me, the difference between them is the key to this whole mystery. Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. On one hand, you've got paper silver. These are just financial contracts, digital promises to deliver silver at some point in the future. You can create a nearly unlimited amount of these. But on the other hand, you have physical silver, the actual real metal bars. There's only so much of it in the world. For decades, the price of the real stuff has been dictated by this paper market, which has created a massive disconnect from its true industrial demand. And that system, well, it's being put to the test right now. So that brings us to our prime suspect. But the culprit draining these vaults isn't who you might think. It's not some shadowy organization. It's something way bigger, and it's all happening right out in the open.
So get this, the silver isn't being stolen in the way we think of it. It's being bought up and pulled out for a very, very specific reason. It's actually being put to work in the very engines of our modern economy.
And this chart, it shows you exactly where it's all going. Silver isn't just for fancy spoons. It's one of the best conductors of electricity on the planet. That makes it absolutely critical for things like photovoltaics, solar panels. The whole green energy revolution literally runs on silver. And look at that other slice, AI and data centers. Every server, every switch, all of our high-tech electronics rely on it. These are not small industries. This is the future, and their appetite for physical silver is just insatiable. Now just look at this chart. This is the smoking gun right here. This shows the amount of registered silver in COMEX vaults. That's the silver that's ready and waiting to be delivered to people who hold contracts. It's the most important number to watch. 5 years ago, things were pretty full. A year ago, you can see a big drop. And today, wow, the inventory has literally fallen off a cliff. This industrial heist is leaving the shelves totally bare. So, what happens when a market built on basically infinite paper promises slams head-on into the hard reality of a limited physical supply? Well, the game starts to break down. This slide lays out the chain reaction perfectly. Let's just walk through it. First, like we've seen, that relentless industrial demand drains the physical stock. Second, with the real metal gone, those paper contracts are suddenly exposed as maybe just empty promises. Third, trust, which is the bedrock of any market, it just starts to evaporate. And finally, the big one, step 4, price discovery. Figuring out what silver is really worth, it shifts away from the paper promises and over to the people holding the actual metal. For years, a lot of analysts have argued that this massive paper market has been used to artificially keep the price of silver down. What all of this suggests is that era, that whole long-running game, might just be approaching its grand finale. And all of this, it's all leading to one dramatic, and for a lot of people, kind of terrifying potential climax, a moment that could totally redefine the entire precious metals market as we know it. And this is the term you need to know for the end game, a delivery default. It's the moment the exchange basically has to throw up its hands and admit it can't make good on its promises. It's when you show up with your paper contract and they have to tell you, sorry, the vault is empty. And that's really what this whole story boils down to, isn't it? It's a collision course, the abstract world of finance meeting the very real, tangible world of actual stuff. And it's a collision that has been decades in the making. So we'll leave you with this final thought. For so long, the answer to what silver's worth has been decided by a bunch of paper contracts. But what happens when you can't trust those contracts anymore, when the vaults are empty? Who gets to decide the price then? The industries that are desperate for it? The folks holding the actual physical bars? That is the question at the very heart of the Great Silver Squeeze.